Hello everybody, I'm Onjigo, and in this video I'm going to show you guys how to pretty much prepare your Android app for Google Play. This video does not cover optimization. It's pretty much step-by-step important things that you should know before you put it on Google Play, because you have to bundle your project. So by the end of this video you will know how to bundle your project, and your project will be able to go on Google Play. That's the most important thing in this video. The first thing is install UE4. Just go to the UE4 website and install UE4. I have multiple versions. I have 4.14 and 4.22. I have the latest version. I suggest that you install the latest version so we'll be on the same page. The next thing you're going to do is install the drivers. You definitely need your SDK drivers to be able to do anything with Google Play. It's important to install those. So you're going to go to this directory into the EpicGames folder, your EngineVersion folder, Engine Extras, AndroidWorks, Win64, CodeWorks for Android. As you see in this video, I have multiple versions. I have 4.14, 4.22. So since I have multiple versions, one thing I want to prevent is overlapping SDK files. So it's good to create a directory. So once you install CodeworksforAndroid, for Android, which is located here. So let's just go to Engine, Extras, AndroidWorks, Win64, CodeWorks. You're going to install the SDK drivers, but it's going to give you the option to create directories. Two of the default directories is NVIDIA and NVPACK. I just created my own folders for each version of UE4 that I have, so that those drivers can be installed into those folders, into that directory. So to give you an example, here is NVIDIA and NVPACK, because after you install this, you create these two folders. So as you can see, NVIDIA, I created a directory for 4_22. This is the latest UE4, and under NVPACK 4_22. And in here you have the SDK Windows, and let me see. So yeah, this is pretty much the next step. After you install that, you're gonna go to SDK Windows, you're gonna go to Tools. Let's go here to Tools, and let's go to Open Android-bat. And once you open this up, you're going to be pretty much installing some more SDK drivers. Now for me, I've already installed everything. Just when you double click on it, it's going to take a second to open, but it's going to install. For me, I've already installed everything. I ran into the issues. It kind of have the things checked that need to be installed by default. So you're going to install them, and once you install them, it's going to ask you to close and open again. Not necessarily. It's going to have, after you install those, it's got an option to install 11 more, I believe. It depends. And you install those, and then it's going to have 3 more to install. Then you install those. Make sure you install everything, and so that you don't have any issues, because you don't have all your drivers installed. So if you just initially install these, that's fine. And if you close it, that's not good, because there's more files to install. If you do not install those files, I found out, then my plugins will not work. And so I made sure I install the remaining 11, the remaining 3, and then my plugins work. But you're going to have to restart your computer. It's going to ask you to restart your computer. So after you restart your computer, I don't know if it's prior or afterwards, I forgot when I got this pop-up to install Net Framework 4.7.2. Some people already have installed. I didn't have mine installed, but keep that in consideration. So I installed that. And in UE4, make sure that you have support ARM64 selected. That's just your build that you're actually packaging. I forgot the other one. There's the other one you kind of have selected by default, or you select it by yourself. When you package your project as an APK file, you're packaging it in this format. Well, Google Play is being updated and upgraded, so we have to kind of keep up. So you need to export this instead and uncheck the other one. Otherwise, you'll be packaging two installation files, or 2 APK files, or in APK versions. But this is the version that we want to have checked in your project settings in UE4. Also, after restarting UE4 and restarting your computer, after installing your SDK files, make sure that you accept your SDK license, because you will not be able to package your project. Even if you accept it prior, you have to accept it again after you install your SDK plugins and stuff. The next thing to do is install Android Studio. I never use Android Studio at all. I just had a friend of mine that uses Android Studio. He's been doing all types of programming and Java and stuff, so he kind of knew how to navigate. But if anything, any program's almost the same. There's a file and there's an open. There's a file. There's an import. There's a file export. So those are the major things. But so open Android Studio after you install it, which is free. So when I open Android Studio, this is one of the first things I actually see. Start a new Android project, open existing project. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open an existing project. Do not click start a new project. What I did is initially, when I first opened Android Studio, I created a new project, and then I opened my APK file from UE4 that I had compiled from UE4, and I uploaded it to Google Play, and I assumed everything was fine. I got past a few errors or whatever settings, and I was waiting for it to show up on the store. It actually did show up on the store. The only problem is when I packaged the project starting from a new Android project, I thought I packaged my full project, which I didn't. I pretty much just uploaded a blank project to Google Play and then stated my title of my project, but also it just only said hello world. So we don't want that. So just open existing Android project. So the project that we're looking for is the project within our pretty much our project in our documents, our game project. So we're gonna go to there. Mine is here. Let's go to Unreal Projects, and I created a duplicate of my first initial project just to, in case I run into some errors, which I did, and I don't want to ruin a copy of my original project. So I call this 4.22 test. So let's click in here. Let's go to intermediate folder. Let's go to Android. Let's go to APK. Let's go to Gradle and press open. So right now it's pretty much syncing and loading, and I'm going to close this, and you want it to look like this when it initially opens. One issue that I had is that when I opened my project, my Gradle folder project, it originally looked like this, and then when I synced and bundled and I tried to open my project again, everything looked different. It didn't have downloader Gradle permissions. They were not highlighted, and it was in different order, and I couldn't really see my manifest folder and stuff like that. So for this tutorial, I'm trying to make sure that everything goes smoothly, because I think I had forgot to press save all and actually save my project, because I closed it and I opened it and I saw my project and I assumed everything was there. So it's best to, after you do whatever you're going to do to your project, make sure you save it. Press save all and then test it out and open it again and see if everything pretty much looks the same. Right now it's syncing. I'm going to get errors. You guys are going to get errors as well. That's part of the issue why we can't really get things initially working in Android Studio. So right now it says app sync failed, and it's still got some things going on there. I'm going to build. Actually, let me see. Click on here, and you can kind of see the warnings. The warnings pretty much is dealing with downloader library, Gradle app, and permission library. These three highlighted sections here in the manifest. Let's go here. And what we want to do is delete this. And that's pretty much what this is going to tell you. So if you click on either one of them, it's going to take you to each one individually. So like I click on downloader library. It took me to downloader library, but in the manifest, pretty much the same thing right here. And we want to remove that line. Let's go to Gradle app, and I want to remove this line right here. Permission library. want to remove this line. Now that I remove those lines, another thing to keep in mind, undo Gradle scripts before I go any further. I'm going to sync this project where it says try again, but before I do that, there's some things I want to bring up. In Gradle project, under settings, Gradle, or is it local Gradle? Gradle properties. This is my min SDK version, target SDK version. Make sure it says 28. Now this is based off, or is going to determine what type of phones will be able to use your app. And I figured it out the hard way because pretty much before the numbers were lower, and it was 28, and I bundled my project, put it on Google Play, upload it to Google Play, and I was waiting for it to show up. Now Google Play said that my project was actually live and was on the store, so it should be fine. I should be able to see it. Well, I could not see it on my phone, Google Play, to see my app, but I could see it on the PC. That's because my phone was not compatible with this version. So I pretty much bundled a package bundle, a package version of my app that my phone wasn't even compatible with, but everyone else, because I tried it on someone else's phone and I was able to see it in the Google Play Store. But that's because Google Play is going to be, they prefer you to actually, let's see if I can open this up here. I'm just going to open instructions here. Other versions that they prefer. So around November the 1st, 2019, they pretty much wanted to have APK level 28 and wanted to be set to that, so that the latest phones will be able to handle, but not so much the older phones. Mine is at 28, and my Android version phone is pretty much a 7. So if it was at 24, but later on, it's going to be required to be 28. So guys, double check that, make sure I'm reading it wrong, but that's pretty much what it looks like it says. So I suggest to put it at 28 so you don't have to do it later. So let me close that. Another thing before any further, make sure that says 28. And this is pretty much saying the same that's in your UE4 project settings. If you set this to 28, you can play around with the numbers, but I suggest leaving it there. And also store version. Every time you package your project from UE4, before you package it as an APK and you upload it to Google Play, well, and then the next time you did it again, you have to change the store version. This is still the same thing, store version for it. I would have to change mine as well, so you can actually change it here too without having to go back to UE4. So now that I've got rid of those 3 errors, let's try it again as far as syncing again and see what I get. So it's synced again, and everything says app synced successfully. Let me just get rid of this because I typed some letters in here, and I will get that error if I don't take care of that. So app synced successfully. I have to sync it once again because I typed those letters. So every time you do something, it updates and it gives you the option to sync. So I don't want any errors, so I'm just going to sync this one more time. This time I'll sync it without pausing it. Okay, app sync successfully. Last time I had got some error with build Gradle. I think if you double click in here, I needed to, or not here, was it this one or this one? Okay, I don't even see it, so that's a good thing. I will not add any issue to where there's no issue, so just leave it at that. So the next thing is to build. So we're going to go to build, and we're going to make our bundle. That's what this whole video is about. It's just, there's a few things I just want you guys to prepare yourself for before you actually started bundling. And I went through so many errors and issues. I just want to make it easier for you guys because we're all here to help each other and make cool things. So generate signed bundle, and we're going to press next. And the key store is located in your documents. In your project folder. It should be in your, let me see. Okay, your key store should be loaded in your build Android folder and your project folder. Build Android folder, and you should have your key store in there. That's where mine's located. And in your key store file that you have created from your console command and stuff like that, you're gonna search for it here and load it. Your key store password, let me open this file. Your key store password is pretty much this password right here, and also the password that you have put into your key. You don't really need this right here. That's not what's required here. It's pretty much your key store key, your password, which is pretty much this password. You're gonna place that here and here. Even though this one's supposed to be left blank, you can't go any further here without putting your password here and here. And the alias is pretty much what you place here for your alias. And then you're gonna press next. And after you press next, since I already done this, you're gonna press next, and then you're going to select release, if I remember correctly, and then you're gonna press OK, and it should start bundling your package. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that because this is like a copy of my version that I have on Google Play right now, and see if we have any errors or anything. So right now it's packaging or bundling. Let me get rid of this P here. And I'm getting some errors right now for SDK build tools, which I knew I would get. I wasn't crazy. I was trying to figure out when I had got that error. Generate signed bundle is an issue. Did it finish? I think it finished. So I do know how to fix this error. So give me 1 second. Okay, so now I found the issue. For build output, I have you can kind of see these errors right here, these warnings actually, and they're all red. And I was trying to look for the blue link text. So go here to sync, and you should be able to see it. Now it's back to these 3 folders right here: downloader, Gradle, and permission. So if you click on downloader library, it will take you here. You want to delete this line right here, and do the same thing for Gradle app, because that's the issue it's giving. It says the specific Android-SDK version, tools version 26.1 is ignored as it's below the minimum supported version. So I'm going to delete this as well. And I go to permissions library and delete that. And I'm going to sync again now. I don't know how it's going to take, so we'll see. So it says app synced successfully. It's continuing to do something here, but I think it's actually finished. So there's no errors now. So if we try to go to build and generate signed bundle, and I have my information in here, so you should already have yours in there, or you have to do it again. So I'm going to pause this. So it's compiling again and bundling, and then see if we get any errors. So there's 2 things. Initially, we got the errors when we tried to sync and we deleted the line of code, and then when we tried to bundle, then we got the build tools error, which you need to get rid of as well. I don't know if there's priority to install or update something before we start bundling, but we still got that error. We just want to make sure we don't have any errors and that it will bundle and we'll be able to upload it to Google Play. So like it's almost done bundling. Alright, so it officially bundled. I don't know if you guys can see, it says generate signed bundle. That's the pop-up that came, and in this folder it lets you know where it's located. So if I click on this, it should open a folder. So it should be located in your project folder under app and release. And this is mine. It's about 57, 58 megabytes. I have a lot going on in my app, but when I first initially packaged my app and I thought it actually worked, it was less than a megabyte. I was so happy, but that wasn't the case because I didn't sync and compile and bundle it correctly. So this is the correct way to bundle it. So we have no errors. Remember, if you initially get your errors, then you want to delete those line of code. You can see it in the viewport on my recording screen, but this is build. So if you're somewhere here, let's say it's sync or something, and you want to get back to where you can see the errors, just click on build right here at the bottom. And before you can see it, but here, just file and open, to open your file. And another thing is when you scroll down here to, I think, Gradle Settings, don't forget, make sure your version is set to 28. And every time you bundle this project, make sure you change the store version to the next version every time you upload it to Google Play. So another thing to test out is important that you need to save your file. So file, save all. And you want to close the project and make sure it opens the same way. So if I close the project and then open existing project, yes, you want to make sure it opens pretty much the same way to see these same folders. Before, it wasn't doing that for me. I realized I forgot to save all. Another issue that you should take in consideration is the reason I have multiple projects with UE4 is because when for example, I install all my SDK drivers, and I open UE4, I accept SDK license, and then I do everything correctly, optimize my app, and then package my project. Now, before I could not package my project. I couldn't get my plugins to work because I didn't install all of my drivers. So that works. I make sure I install all of my drivers. Every last one that's set to default, that's checked. Okay, so the next thing is when you involve Android Studio and you create your bundle or sync, or I think it's pretty much when you create your bundle, you kind of affect your intermediate folder in your project folder. I don't know how, I don't know why, but when I tried to package my project that was once packaging fine in UE4, it gives me an error. And that only occurs when I do what I just did right now in Android Studio. It affects my intermediate folder somehow. I don't know why. So that's why I create multiple projects. Duplicate my project. So the next time, pretty much, unfortunately, when I want to update something to my app that's on Google Play, I would go to the copy version of my project that's in Google Play, of my UE4 project, and then I will update that and go through all this process all over again. Not installing the drivers, but pretty much bringing it into here and getting rid of those errors, and then bundling again. It's not so much of a hassle because I kind of know what the errors are to get rid of. It's just, who wants to keep going through all that? So if you guys have any suggestions as to why or what is it doing to the intermediate folder to where when I package Unreal 4 again, my project Unreal 4, I get that error, or should we just focus mainly on Google Play and not Google Play, but Android Studio, and not so much worry about UE4 anymore unless we're updating the project or making a major change? Just pretty much, I suggest that make sure that you have your project completely done, completely finished. You know how it's going to be. You have your ads and everything, and then start dealing with Android Studio, or just have a duplicate copy that you can update later. Alright guys, hopefully this video is very helpful. Please subscribe. This is my new channel. I'm Onjigo, and we're here to help each other. So let me know if you guys come up with any solutions to the issues that I'm having. But the main thing is we're able to bundle our project and put it on UE4. On Google Play. Thank you.